Now we're going to do a couple examples of joint variation. So let's get right into the example. Suppose that y varies jointly as x and z. Find y when x equals 10 and z equals 5 if y equals 12 when x equals 3 and z equals 8. Alright, we got a whole bunch of numbers going on here, but the first thing that we need to do is write that general equation with our variables in k. So in this case, it looks like we have a y, an x, and a z. It says that y varies jointly, which means that it's going to be y equals on one side, and on the other side as x and z. So then we have k times x times z, because joint variation means that x and z are both variables on the right side, and our proportionality constant k is always going to be present on that right side also. So the question asks us to find y under these conditions here, x equals 10 and z equals 5, and then it gives us some information. If y equals 12 when x equals 3 and z equals 8. Now this isn't worded exactly as some other examples we've seen, because the information we need is at the end instead of in the middle. But since it's the yellow highlighted area, it gives us 3 data points, we can use that to calculate k. So y equals 12, x equals 3, z equals 8. You plug that in, you divide both sides by the product here, so divide both sides by 24, and you're going to get k is equal to 1/2. Now that you have that proportionality constant k, you plug it into your original equation, that'll give you step 3. Y equals 1/2 times x times z. Last step asks you to find y, so we're solving for y here, given x equals 10 and z equals 5. So we have values for these, plug those into our equation, and in this case we just simply multiply it out. 1/2 times 10 times 5 is going to be y equals 25. And so the answer to this problem would be y equals 25. Second example here, suppose y varies jointly as x and z. Again, since it's a joint variation, we know enough to write that general form of the equation. Y equals k times x times z. Now find y when x equals 3 and z equals 2. So that's what we're being asked to find y. And the information we're given here, if y equals 11 when x equals 5 and z equals 22. So let's use that information in yellow to find our value of k, because we're given all 3 variables. So plug 11 in here, and then 5 and 22 on the other side. We get 11 is equal to k times 110. And then if we divide both sides by 110, we're going to get k equals 1/10 on the other side. So now we have our value of k. Plug that into our general form, we're going to end up with the specific equation, y equals 1/10 times x times z. Last thing, we're going to find y given certain conditions, so we're solving for y, and we're given z equals 2, x equals 3. Plug that in on the other side here, and if we multiply across, we're going to end up with 6/10, which is equal to 3/5. So y equals 3/5 is going to be the answer to this problem.